Live from my kitchen here in Toronto. I'm here to share the Organo business presentation. I'm so grateful for Organo. I'm so grateful for the platform, the academy, because every week a business leader will be in there sharing tips, sharing strategies, sharing the business, how they actually present the actual plan, the actual business opportunity for distributors. So you may pick up something that's new that you can use in your presentation, but you're going to learn and grow, and that's the beauty of that platform. Plus the fact that you can share that platform with new potential prospects so they get a feeling for what the Organo experience is going to be like. So for as we get technology linked up here, there's something that somebody, hope, and I'm hoping it's me, will say something that resonates with you today. I hope it sets off a light bulb, or I hope you kind of understand what we're trying to do here in Organo, because it is absolutely one of the most fantastic companies that has changed my life. So as we link up technology, let's try and see we go here. Maybe a little delay on technology. But what I want to know is what's in your cup? Where are you calling from as we link up technology? All right, we may have a little challenge in technology, but that's okay. We're going to roll with this. So, for those that don't know me, my name is Dr. Paul Charlton. I have been in Organo for 9 years with my beautiful wife, Nancy, and we are Organo veterans of 9 years. We've been married for 34 years. We have three beautiful children. We've got Renee, Juliana, Brendan. They're all Organo distributors. As well, we have a oddball cat named Marley and a big fluffy Bernie doodle named Teddy, who's waiting behind me for Nancy to come home. So that's who I am. That's who I'm presenting. Now, today, what I'd like to do is I'd like to set the table for four things that I want to cover. Number one is you may be in a point in your life where maybe you're a little frustrated. You may not know what to do. You may be in a different decade than my decade. But I know that there's always an answer. There's always a solution to getting out of the sticky peanut butter of life that you're in situation in. So the first thing I do is I'm going to find out why or where you're at, because you have to know where you are before you know where you want to go, and how Organo will help you get there. Number two is I'm going to share a little bit about my story and how Organo helped me. Number three, I'm going to share what Organo is all about. Some of you are new to the call, you don't even know what Organo is. And number four, I'm going to do a little bit of a drone view, a high view of what the compensation plan is here in Organo. And if I have time, I would really like to share a bucket list dream of mine that's going to happen in next. Whoa, I'm going to save it to the end of the presentation. So, so here you are. First of all, congratulations for being here. I hope that you find what you're looking for because you're looking for something. You probably, if you're on this call as a new person, you're frustrated with something in your life. You're either laying in bed and awake at night and you're trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to do. You either need more time, more money, or both. And I'm here. I get it, by the way, because I was walked in your shoes, by the way. And I know as you go through life, it's not rainbows and unicorns, and the world's a little bit upside down right now, you may have noticed. But again, you've got to know where you are before you know where you want to go. And I don't think there is a better time than to create a plan B. And Organo is my plan B. We've always been taught, never put your eggs all in one basket, haven't we? So think of it. In your 20s, what are your struggles? You get out of school, there's student loans, they're fun. You probably buy a car, probably buy a new car because you want a new car because you think you deserve a new car, but then you get stuck with monthly payments, and then you probably go in debt, and therefore you can't go out to rent, and therefore you're stuck in mom and dad's basement. So those are the struggles of usually the 20s, right? I think I may have nailed them all there. By the way, a side note here, what did our parents ever teach us about financial literacy? My parents taught me two things. They taught me that money doesn't grow on trees and they taught me that spend less than you make. Sound advice. But kids don't do it now, do they? We don't follow those rules. We go into debt and we're working to pay off debt. We're working so hard for stuff that we've already bought. We want to take these fancy elaborate trips. We want to do all these fancy things. But I'm here to tell you, you can have it all by increasing your income. You have to have a side hustle. You have to join the gig economy. In the States alone, a third of all Americans are in the gig economy, 50% of millennials. So think of it, after the 20s, you've got the student loan, you've got the new car, and I don't know when the heck a car payment became an actual acceptable monthly payment. Why don't you just get a cheaper car and pay the darn thing off? Then you make more money. Then you can save for another car. Then you can pay off, put your money to work. You can invest because we know that the sooner you start investing, that will create passive income and generate much more money over time. In the 30s, we know that, well, you may start a family. You may want to upscale where you're living. You may want to get out of mom and dad's basement, right? You may get married, more money, less time, more commitment, and then don't talk about a mortgage. In Canada, try and buy a house in Toronto or Vancouver for that matter. That's the number one complaint I hear, by the way. How the heck do I afford to buy a house? How do I afford to get into the market? A condo in Toronto is about 800,000. So you need to think about how am I going to increase my revenue? Because when you graduated from school a little ways back, guess what? You didn't make 100K right out of school most times. Usually you start at the bottom of the pay scale and over time you have to work up. So then after the 30s, oh, by the way, you can't afford a mortgage because you can't afford eggs. You've seen the price of eggs lately? Isn't that crazy? And then you get into the 40s, you're worrying about your teenage kids, you're worrying about saving for their education or paying for their education or helping them with their education. You've hit the max for your ceiling for economic growth and at your pay scale, most likely. You're probably starting to break down just a little bit physically. You're probably going to get a little bit more burnt out. That kind of sums up the 40s for most people. Then you hit your 50s. 50s, you start thinking, holy cadoodles, I haven't saved enough money because I spent too much in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. I haven't saved enough money for retirement. That is scary. That's when I joined Organo. I was in my 50s. Man, I'm so glad I joined. And I'll share a little bit more later in a second. But then you hit your 60s. Do you know what the number one fear of someone in their 60s and beyond? Do you know what the number one fear is? That they won't have enough money to last them. May I recommend that we think differently? Instead of retirement to live below your means and scrimp and save, why don't we rewire our brain and be open to an alternative solution that can fund our lifestyle, that we can create extra abundance so it can create choices in our life. My story, I'm a very successful chiropractor. I've been in practice for over 30 years. I don't want to boast, but I've been voted Toronto's top chiropractor, not once, but twice. I have a very successful practice, but put your business hat on for a second. When you look at it, you can either, if you're having a business, you can either sell a product or you can sell a service. In Organo, it's product and service, but you can sell Organo in a retail setting. You can sell Organo products online. So that means Organo is actually in business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's a business. That allows you can work that business, Organo business, anywhere in the world. How cool is that? Now look at my model as a chiropractor, and I love servicing patients. I love my patients. They're my family. They're sweet. I had a patient in today, and she was telling me that's her 50th wedding anniversary, and she was telling me that on their way home from the reception, they were pulled over by the cops. Side story, pulled over by the cops because there was an escaped convict from a jail near the area. So of course I joked that, oh, ball and chain right from marriage, right? But anyway, that's what I have so much fun in my practice. It's so much fun trying to find a problem and solve it. And again, that's what Organo does too. There's a problem you have, Organo may be an option for you to consider. So going back to what I do as a service, I can only see so many patients a day. I can only physically adjust so many patients a day. I can only work so many hours in a week, so many hours in a month, so many hours in a year, and I cap out. You see, most people live paycheck to paycheck, but no, I live patient to patient actually. I swap time for money. And that is why I do a plan B. I do a side economy to expand the pillars of income that I generate. So here's one of my burns, and this is a linchpin for me with Organo. Every, I'm gonna get a little emotional here, but no, my family is everything. Every decision I make goes through my family filter. Will this affect my family? Will this help my family? What can I do for my family? Is this a good choice for my family? And as a successful chiropractor as I was and am, what happens when I go on holidays? Does the income keep rolling in? No, it doesn't. It stops. So when I go on holidays, not only do I have to save for the holiday, but I actually have to save for the vacation, or sorry, save for the vacation, but I also have to save for the operating costs of the office. It's expensive. It's a lot of money. So I wasn't able to join some of my friends that take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks off with their family and go to Europe or travel to Western Canada to beautiful British Columbia where Edward is on the call. You know, I'm not able to, I can do a week, but man, I'm missing out. I wanted my kids to have that experience. I really, really did. You know, it's something very, very dear to me. So I figured it out. I'm laying there. I know what I'll do. I'm just going to work harder. I'll work harder and make more revenue so we take more holidays. So I worked harder. Guess what? I went from the 5 day a week club to the 6 day a week club. Great effort on my part. Let me tell you, was I more exhausted? Yeah. Was I as good at home and as present with my wife, with my kids, working 6 days a week, busting it to make more revenue? And we did make more revenue and we did take more holidays. But again, there's a cap on how much you can make. So you've got to think, what are my options? What possible solution can I have for this? So my solution came in on March 27th, 2016. The Dr. Bob Rakowski attended one of my seminars and served me my first cup of black, delicious Organo coffee. He gave a talk. My world shifted. The light bulb went off. You can probably see it going here. I remember it like it was yesterday. I came home, I told Nancy that we're doing a business and it's to do with coffee. She wasn't so excited, but she's excited now. June 9th, 2016, Miss Diane Solano, who she's a diamond now, was a sapphire then. She calls me up and says, "Hey, Dr. Paul, would you like to see the business opportunity presentation?" Which is about I'm going to show you in a second. I said, "Absolutely." I went up there and I saw Miss Diane Solano give a business presentation like only Miss Diane can. And in my head, though, I'm thinking, oh my God, my plate is full. How the heck can I do more? How can I have more without doing more? And now Miss Diane Solano is asking me to do more things. And in my head, this defense mechanism was going off. And I said, is it worth it? And then Miss Diane, she says, and the work is worth it because you can build this business in the nooks and crannies of your day. Got me. I got it. Then in the back of my head, I'm thinking, oh, what are my friends going to think? What are my family going to think? I'm a doctor. I've got status. Well, let me tell you something. Status does not pay your bills. And I don't care what my brother-in-law says. I'm going to do whatever it takes to look after my family and their needs. So that's my responsibility and that's on me. So after seeing that, I had hope. Now, I came across a very unique definition of hope, and I even printed it off. This is going to go on my bulletin board at work, and it's right here. I'm going to read it to you because I think it's fantastic. Hope has two beautiful daughters. Their names are anger and courage. Anger at the way things are, man, I was ticked. I was frustrated how I was, even though I was successful, but I wanted more. And then courage to see that they do not remain as they are. Let me read that again. It's a great quote. Hope has two beautiful daughters. Their names are anger and courage. Anger at the way things are, and courage to see that they do not remain as they are. That's by St. Augustine. I love that quote. My patients are going to enjoy that quote. So I dove in. I started building. I started texting people right at that business presentation by Miss Diane Solano. Dual team qualified by the end of the week, VIP in a couple of months, platinum a couple more months after that, went on sapphire by 9 months later. We have had so many financial blessings. Our team has had so many financial blessings because of Organo and me making that decision, because I had hope, because Miss Diane came into my life, because Dr. Bob was happened to be at that seminar. Think of the odds on that. There are no accidents. There are no accidents. You're on this meeting. If you're watching me right now, there are no accidents. You're meant to be here. So just think of that. All the dots had to connect. And here I'm building Organo. And trips, by the way, as you know, I have never been on finer trips than what Organo and Incentive Trips have provided me. I am grateful. I've been able to experience things that I would never have been able to experience on my own. Oh, by the way, I told you I have a really, really cool bucket list surprise at the end of this call. You're gonna, oh, I'm so stoked. I can hardly wait to share it with you, but you're gonna have to wait for a second. So right now, I want to dive into the Organo presentation. Some of you people don't know what Organo is. Organo is a health and wellness company, 17 years in business. It's a beautiful company. It resonates with what I do for a living. I'm a health advocate. So health and wellness, think of it. RFK had a great quote. He said, if you're healthy and you have great well-being, you have 1,000 dreams. But if you don't have your health, if you don't have your well-being, you only have one dream. That's such a good quote. I want to say that one again. With health and well-being, you have 1,000 dreams. If you don't have your health and well-being, you only have one. Now, Organo is a fantastic company. Now, the mission of Organo is pretty simple. Bring the treasures of the earth to the people of the world. I love, this is the foundation of Organo, the Ganoderma, as it attaches to a decaying tree. It's shiny, it's bright, it's healthy looking, but there's treasures that Organo wants to share with you. There's treasures in the form of coffee, treasures in the form of skincare, treasures in the form of travel, in cognitive brain training. We're part of this gig economy, which we hope you will consider. Fabulous opportunity, and the cash flow is pretty good. And I'll explain that a little bit later. Again, visionary leadership. Mr. Paul Caldwell is our chairman. I remember the first time I saw Paul, he has big visions for Organo, and I like that. Let's not play small. Most companies play small. Paul does not want to play small. There we go. And I love his line. I even put it on mugs. Purposely unordinary. It's kind of a little bit of a rebel in him. So again, I love the Chua family. This is our founder, Mr. Bernie Chua. 10 years he spent working on the patents of getting the Ganoderma infused into the different coffees and teas that we carry now in the office and all around the world. And the amount of time he put in and not giving up for sure. 10 years. I don't know if I would have stuck with it for 10 years, but you could think of it. He started out in an old ice cream shop, 4 employees. He certainly wasn't dishing out Jamocha almond fudge. He was dishing out black coffee, latte coffee to people all over the area. And look where it's grown in over 30 plus countries. The opportunity of Organo is pretty cool. We've got so many verticals. We've got the gourmet coffee, we've got the nutraceuticals, we've got the natural skincare. You can create family memories with travel and the brain technology. There's something for everybody here. You look at our Ganoderma compared to competition's Ganoderma. Ours is the one on the left, the competition is on the right. Ours is grown in a natural mountain, pristine environment, grown on dead logs, natural setting, fresh air, as opposed to what's grown in factories in plastic bags. But they can both be called organic because no pesticides are used. In the wise words of my celebrity crush Shania Twain, the one on the right doesn't impress me very much. You don't impress me much, right? There's no way I'm putting that Ganoderma in my coffee and tea. I'm not putting that in my body. I'm putting the one on the left. Man, I feel like a latte. There's a little Shania Twain humor on a Thursday afternoon. Hope you like that. So again, what do mushrooms do? Ganoderma is amazing. It's an adaptogenic herb. It's been around for over 2,000 plus years, used by royalty, and it helps with immunity. Google up, there's lots of studies out there. Then we've got the cordyceps with help with energy, lion's mane with focus. Fantastic mushrooms. Everybody should consume them. Paul Stamets, who's a mycologist, he says that 50% of DNA from mushrooms are shared with humans. No wonder we get response when we consume the mushrooms. It's almost like when you get an iPhone. When you get your iPhone and you go from 11 to 16, it just works better. It works faster. That's what you do when you put Ganoderma in your body. So again, well, why mushrooms? Is mushrooms going to be around? Ladies and gentlemen, it's a $34 billion market. I would say yes, and it's growing at 8% per year. Hello? There's a need for functional medicines with markets. Now, leading brands. I love this slide. So my experience with Organo is that every distributor has a favorite product. And go ahead, type in the chat what your favorite product is, and they're passionate about it. It's like, no, I'm only a king person. That's all I'm going to drink. It's funnier. No, I'm a supreme. I love it. Dr. Bob Rakowski, he stays at the house once in a while and he's a beast. He's a mixologist, I call him. He puts a royal and a king, mixes them together in his cup, and he doesn't have just one, but he has, I think, six before 11 o'clock, before he breaks his intermittent fasting. So of course, you got to copy your mentor. That's what I do. I don't know if I have six, but I have at least two, royal and king, mixed together in the beginning. Now, if you were on the COS call with Casey Nielsen last Sunday, wasn't that a great call? Oh man, you got to go back and check Casey. She is pure fire. I just love it. You know what FIRE stands for, by the way? It means financial independence, retire early. She is fire. There we go. Same with Miss Diane. Fire. They're financially independent and they're retired early. I love it. So anyway, Miss Casey Nielsen, she's a king girl normally, but in the summer, she said she goes to latte. She puts whipped cream and salty caramel on top of it. Whatever floats your boat. Now, my wife, let me talk about my wife. Leading brand, I love it. She starts off with the royal and the black, or royal and the king in the morning. She'll have a black in the afternoon, and then she's going to have a red tea at night. Now, I made a terrible mistake once, and I only made it once. Red tea is my wife's favorite go-to in the evening. I swear to God, when I told her we couldn't find any red tea, fangs grew, her nostrils flare. I think I was on the couch that night. And I've learned, and I bet you, all the Organo distributors out there, I bet you've got these little hidden secret spots of coffee in your car, in your briefcase, in your coat pocket, in different drawers, in anywhere, that just in case, my just in case stash. Right? I remember in the fall when you put your coat on, you reach in your pocket and you think, oh, latte, it's like finding money. Right? So there is no question. Organo not only has won our hearts, but they've won our taste buds. So well done, Organo. I can't believe 17 years. Fantastic. And yes, we've won awards as well. we've won the King and the Royal and the Spores. We've won beautiful best product, organic product, and again, you can look that up later. The Ganoderm is not in our skincare, but I'm going to touch on skincare in a second. All top first class products, fantastic. So let's talk coffee. So if you're going to do a side business, if you're going to do a side hustle, you want to know a little bit more information. We know that the Ganoderma and mushroom business is growing. We know coffee is probably pretty consumed quite regularly, and you probably drink coffee or tea yourself. But when you look at the stats, like look at this, it says here, the most consumed beverage next to oil. Now, I haven't drank any oil, but it's the most traded commodity, sorry, after oil. 1.6 billion with a B, billion cups a day. So let me get this straight. On Casey Nielsen's call, she said something that was pure brilliance. She said what she says to people. I have a amazing, delicious coffee that's good for you. Would you like to try? Wow. I wrote that down. It's pure brilliance. It's simple. It's non-threatening. You don't need to know all the science. You don't need to know about the adaptogens and the terpenoids and all the fun science stuff. It's a great tasting coffee. It's an amazing tasting coffee. Why don't you try it? It's good for you. That's all you have to say. Do you think if you shared it with 10 people, someone of that 10 people is going to say, hey, I really like that? Do you think those people that really, really like it are eventually going to become raving fans? Do you really think that when they become raving fans, they're going to say to their friends, hey, you got to try this product. It's really, really good. And then they're going to become raving fans? That's how this business works. And I know our product is good. You know how I know? I sell it in my office. I had one person walk in who I didn't even know. They weren't even a patient. They came in because one of my patients had bought a latte, went home, shared it with them. They loved it so much, they came into my office to buy a box of latte. That's what we're dealing with here. That's the power of our product. And I love it. Just super. By the way, it's over, I think it's like $110 billion industry of yearly consumption of coffee a year just in the States alone. It's going nowhere. So very, very excited for that. BU, what a beautiful breath of fresh air BU products are. I'm so glad that came into our line. Nancy absolutely loves our products. Again, she gets mad when the cleanser is not in stock or when we run out. So I have extras in the closet for sure. But then usually my kids grab them, and then I don't know the inventory. But anyway, but it's great products. And you know what? The natural skincare market is blossoming. It's got a CAGR. If you don't know what CAGR means, it's a compound annual growth rate of easily 6%. It's a $9.9 billion industry alone, skincare, natural skincare, because they're in the know now. They know they are chemicals laced in a lot of these products, but ours is natural. We don't want toxicity on our skin. Just like the Ganoderma has a beautiful shiny skin, the product's good for you. You can tell somebody's skin. When their skin is beautiful, it's good inside. So help it on the outside, we help it on the inside. It's a win-win combo. We also have, we talked about going to the gym and health and wellness. Well, how about brain training? Great for athletes. We know the Washington Capitals, Manchester United have used this program, the US military. I've used this program, Sharpening Alert Focus. Great program. Everybody's looking for an edge on how to get better and stay focused. Again, our travel portal. I love our travel portal. It's such a travel is a $2 trillion industry. Do you think as a side hustle you could probably benefit from having a travel portal in our business? You probably could do very, very well in promoting vacations because everybody loves vacation. Look at what I told you. That was my story. You know, there's many, many quotes about travel. I love the one by Muhammad. It was at Tilly and D'Urber's, which is a travel adventure company in Toronto. And they said, don't tell me how educated you are. Tell me how much you've traveled. When you travel, you up level your life. And with Navi, you get discounts at hotels, flights, and car rentals, and you can save money. Why wouldn't you want to save money when you explore the world? Now, another quote that I really, really love by the same author as the first quote I said by St. Augustine, and it goes this. This is the quote right here. And it's going to go on my board at work for patients to see. It says, "The world is a book, and those who do not travel, they only read one page." How sad is that? Travel is a burn for me. And as a side note, I love trivia. What are the top four destinations? What do you think the four top destinations are in the last 25 years for travel? There's four cities. I'm going to name in a second. See if you can guess them. Number four, the fourth most busiest and touristy destination that has gone to in the last 25 years, according to TripAdvisor, is Paris, France. The third one would be Rome, Italy. The second one, New York. How about that? New York, USA. And the first one, the number one city in the world where people have traveled to in the last 25 years is London. London, England. Now, how many cities that I just mentioned have you been to? I've only been to Paris. I've been to Paris quite a few times, but I've not been to London. I have a new destination. I've never been to New York City. I want to go to New York City, and hey, I love hockey. You know that. I'm a big hockey fan, and I want to go skate in that Rockefeller Scare. Who wants to join me? Maybe we'll get the whole team. We'll go down in December and get our 2 minutes of skating around the Rockefeller Center. I just think that's super super cool. So again, are you ready to take on a gig economy? Are you ready for your plan B? We're in over 30 countries, and here's some of the countries right here. And again, it just doesn't stop there with Organo. Organo is top in class. If you have a successful company like Organo, you have to give back. It's important for the economy. It's being a good corporate citizen. And our Bags of Life program, I'm going to touch on just a little bit because I think it's brilliant, sheer brilliance. See, these sachets, when we make our coffee, they used to be thrown in the garbage. That's not a good move. Now what we do is we actually save our sachets and we send them back to the corporation every year, where they send it to a third world country where women who are less fortunate create these beautiful bags here. Now, Nancy, she wants that bag exactly like that mocha. Every time it comes for auction, I make a big bid for it, but I never get it. So one day, Nancy, I'm going to get that bag for you. But again, they make these bags, they're auctioned off, and the profits go back to these women. That's impactful. That's changing lives. That's all about Organo. And Organo, I love this IBM network with the Organo Trust. You've got here, there's barcodes on the actual side of the boxes right here. You can scan it with your phone. It tells you the lot number. It tells you where it's grown. It tells you what all the certifications are. So first in class, full transparency, and that's how businesses should be run. So I'm going to dive now into a little bit of the compensation plan, and I love our compensation plan. I could talk probably about another hour just on the beautiful dovetailing and the layers of the compensation plan, but I'm going to keep it simple. And what I want you to know is when somebody sees this for the first time, really they're thinking four thoughts because they're in a different stage in their life than where we're seasoned veterans in Organo who've made a little bit of money. They want to know, number one, can I make money today? Can I make money fast? Because they got bills to pay. They got eggs to pay for. They got kids to put in camps. They've got other things that they have to pay for, that things are now so darn expensive. The second thing is, okay, if I work this, can I create a long-term financial plan? And the third thing they ask is, well, is this worth it? Is the work worth it? And the fourth thing they ask is, they're kind of scared. They don't know about network marketing because this is network marketing. This is where you market to your network. It's not a free lunch. It's not a guaranteed income. You have to learn skills, develop teams. You have to be mentored by people who have gone before you. We've laid the foundation for people. Come join us. We'll help you. Just like I'm on this call today to help whoever I can help with what I say. So the fourth thing is, again, are you going to help me? Because they're scared. They don't know what to do. They've never done this before, maybe. And the answer to all those four questions is absolutely yes. We're there for you. We're going to help you. We will match your efforts. But again, it's network marketing, not pray and hope we get rich marketing or no, not, net pray about it marketing. It's you market to your network. So you have to learn the skills. Now, the first way to get money is retail sales. It's paid daily because in Organo, you can get paid daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. How cool is that? And there's lots of other bonuses, so I'll touch on briefly. But you can get paid retail. Retail is very, very simple. Every time you hand out a sachet, every time you sell a box of product, you or your team has a chance of making money. We buy the product at wholesale, sell it at retail, and get 100% of the profits. We have about a 50% markup on our products. So some of my team members, they're pretty ambitious, right? They basically they'll charge more money per sachet at a local market. They'll charge, say, $3 for a sachet, and they'll make even more margin on the calls. So remember, in Organo, there's only really two activities that you need to do. The first activity is we need to move the product or sell the product in a professional, ethical way from Organo to the end consumer where a product is sold. That's the first activity. The 7 ways which I'm talking about here, they're rotated around those two activities. It's very simple. Again, we don't get paid for recruiting distributors. That's not what we do. That's a pyramid scheme. We don't do that. We promote products. And what is the best way to promote products? Word of mouth marketing. I get every week, hey doc, do you know any car mechanics? Hey doc, do you know anyone who does drywall? Hey doc, do you know anyone who does whatever? We're connected. We have a network. We know through experience what has worked in the past and who we can trust. People will trust you if you recommend a product. And that's why network marketing has grown and it's going to grow up to, I think it's on its way to $235 billion market this year alone, 2025. I think the CAGR is about 6%, compound annual growth return, as you remember. And so it's going to grow easily because people are looking for ways to make money. So again, going back to the retail sales, you can sell anywhere. You can sell in a spa. You can sell in local church or markets or your favorite chiropractic clinic, for goodness sakes. So there's lots of, you're only limited by your imagination. Again, the fast track bonus. I love the fast track bonus. Fast track bonus is absolutely fantastic. Again, we have 3 pack simplicity, advantage, and boundless. Whenever you personally sponsor an individual and they purchase a pack, you have a chance of making up to $150 US. I will take that any day, all day long. And the really cool thing is that there's no limit to the number of people that you can actually sponsor. So anytime you sponsor somebody new and they get a pack for the first time, cha-ching. Say cha-ching for me. The dual team bonus, weekly bonus. Ooh, I love the dual team. This is one of my favorite bonuses. It's really simple. And in training, we do a much deeper dive than what I'm going to do right now. But in Organo, when you personally sponsor somebody, you're building 2 teams, one on your left and one on your right. This is called your left leg, and this is your right leg. You teach the people you sponsor to do the same. So the person in your left leg, you teach them to sponsor too, etc., etc., etc. And eventually, we will teach you in training how to hit a rank called Marketing Associate, which is the minimum rank. And when you hit a certain volume in your left leg and your right leg, cha-ching, you receive a commission of either 10, 15, or 20%. Now, I know that was fast, but I know the comp plan. I love the comp plan. We definitely go over it in training, but there is definitely some money to be made. And what's really cool here with this part of the plan is that you don't get paid just down a few levels. It goes to affinity. Depending on your rank, they actually put caps in, though, that will tell you how much you can possibly make in this dual team bonus. Marketing SOSIS, the cap of 500. At a diamond level rank, it's 20,000. And if you're concerned with those ranks, just think of it as like martial arts, like white belt to black belt. That's similar to what it is. And again, we go through this all in training. The next way to make money is 4 to 7. I love this bonus. Monthly bonus. This is the heart of your income. This is where I love this part of the plan. You know, I go to bed at night and I get up in the next morning and I look at my volume in my back office because you get paid on your volume in the back office. You get paid up to 9 levels deep depending on your rank. But I love this because you make money whether you work, sleep, or play. Remember I told you about the struggles of being a chiropractor? This solves it. This is perfect for any health practitioner. So you make money whether you work, sleep, or play, and it's based on what? But on reorders. Where the dual team bonus, which I just talked about, it's on new orders, new packs. And the new orders, just getting technical, it's up to the first 100 points that you count towards the dual team bonus, and then the rest just to the monthly bonuses. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing, but I love this bonus. This is beach money, baby. And I am just so, so grateful for these blessings that come in on a monthly basis. So again, I could do a deeper dive on this if we got other fun stuff. Again, there's more bonuses, of course. You've got the OG lifestyle bonus. You have to hit Sapphire minimum rank, and you can get all this fun, cool money. They just throw cash at you if you perform, if you do the network marketing thing. And then there's the global growth bonus. Again, more money they just throw at you. So again, how do you get started? So you get started by everybody will get a starter kit. Now, how much is a starter kit? It's a $49.95 fee for a starter kit, and it gives you 12 month and your personalized replicated website where you get all your information, all the products. You get access to all products at wholesale. But what's really cool is because it's happy birthday Organo, 17 years, yay us, they're giving it for 2025. So for $20.25, why wouldn't you set up a wholesale account and start drinking the best coffee on the planet? Why wouldn't you do that? So anyway, that's what they're offering right now. Diving into the 3 packs, this is Simplicity Pack. You get this product in it. You earn 10% on the dual team bonus. I consider this bronze status. Again, this is the Advantage Pack and what's in it. 15% for the dual team bonus, and I consider this silver status. And then we've got the balance with all this beautiful products, 20% or gold status. And Sachin Patel, a leader here in Toronto, and a very, very famous, he's famous for sure, functional medicine doctor. He said to us once, he goes, "You don't go to the Olympics to win the bronze medal. You go to win the gold medal." So when Dr. Bob served me my first cup of black coffee, I bought gold. I bought the Balance Pack. And I'm so glad I did because it has many financial rewards that, again, whoever invited you to this call should go through with you. So again, I can't wait to share. Hang tight. I got that little surprise I want to share with you at the end. I'm so excited. Speaking of Olympics. Oh, maybe I blew it away. But hang on, hang on. Here it comes. So again, training, are we going to help you? Yes, we've got basic scripts on what to say to people. I've already shared one about the most delicious coffee on the planet. Would you like to try some? Again, there's steps on building your Organo business, and I love it. Get started today. It's Organo. I love Organo. So I'm going to share my little story. So I love to travel, as you may have picked up. And one of my bucket list travel destinations is to go to a Winter Olympics. Now, I am so, so over the moon excited that Nancy and I are traveling to the Winter Olympics. Where? In Milan, Italy. I am so pumped about it. But we're gonna fly into Florence. We're gonna go up to Pisa. We're gonna take trains up to Milan. We're gonna maybe I'll put maybe the King Box and I'll mirror right beside the Leaning Tower of Pisa. We're gonna go to Venice. We're gonna go to San Marco Square and the Rialto Bridge, and then we're gonna go back to Milan in between some of the events at the Olympics. Which, oh my God, I can't. I'm pinching myself. The hair on the back of my neck is standing up because I've been wanting to go to the Winter Olympics since 1992. But let me tell you something. It's not cheap going to the Olympics. One of my monthly bonus checks alone almost covered just the cost of the tickets to the events I'm going to see. Oh, did I tell you the Olympic events that I'm going to go see? I've got tickets for Nancy and I for the gold medal women's hockey, which I expect Canada to be in that one, for the men's semifinals in ice hockey, and the gold medal game in ice hockey. I I I'm speechless. Organo's commission check every month pay for my flights there. Organo's commission month, 1 month paid for the tickets. Organo's commission helped me to pay for the hotels because we're going to get dinged on the hotel costs. Actually, I think it's going to be a couple of commission checks, I think. But I am so excited. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is when you open up to, remember, hope, anger, and courage. Courage. Take the courage to jump in and say yes. The world is changing fast, ladies and gentlemen. Stability is not guaranteed, but opportunity is. Opportunity is. And when you're part of a team like the Organo family, you have to ask yourself, if nothing changes, will anything change? Maybe it's time to take a bet on yourself. Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Organo. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for spending the time with me. I am Dr. Paul Charlton. I had a lot of fun on this call. I hope you had fun. Next week, Diamond Leader, Esther Hernandez. Mark your calendars. I hope you have provided value. I want to meet everybody eventually at the conventions. Have a wonderful day, and I hope I made a difference in your life today. Thank you very much.